her business side of things. Basically, she had told us, I want to do something with my platform that the other creators are not doing. And I was very supportive of that because I think that that's a great idea. I have personally had a lot of different skills that I've collected over the years that I felt like could be helpful to her. I already knew and was secure in my position with her as her top mod, having done everything I had done for her in the past couple months of helping her, that I felt like maybe I was in a position where she would trust me enough to help her in that position. So I came to her and said, hey, look, I know you're trying to do this thing. I'm very supportive of it. I would love to help you. I have some skills that I think would be helpful. And are you interested in me just like assisting you with that stuff? Basically, she said yes, that she really liked that idea. Now, I will mention that all of this kind of happened really quickly, and very quickly after the big Discord fight that is well known, unfortunately, that happened due to the Allison stuff with the waffle. So, we did have that debacle. We did kind of have to sort all of that stuff out. And shortly after, then she was like, okay, so now we're going to start doing grind mode. We want to have the separation, have more organization in our Discord, and go ahead and start separating. Basically what the Discord would be where the friends are, and then we would also have the business. So when all of that happened, basically she put me in a position of management without saying it was a position of management. She started giving me like very, very heavy responsibilities, like setting up her business email, setting up her domain for her website, then setting up the website in general, then creating the designs for the website. She sent me her logo and said, I want this on my website. These are my ideas for my website, etc., etc. I was completely okay with that. At that time, it wasn't a lot for me. She gave me those responsibilities, but there wasn't a lot on my plate, so I didn't think anything of it. At that time, she had also demoted, unfortunately, 2 of our previous mods due to the Discord issue, and then promoted another one. And at that time, she told us, okay, so now with the mods, what we're going to do is everyone's going to have their own position, like in the mod group. And Kelly was given the social media manager. She basically told me that I was like VP, SEO, whatever you want to call it, like manager per se of the business. And then Brianna was supposed to be the manager of like the Discord. So going forward, those were our responsibilities. And then she also let me know like, hey, now that we're really turning this into a real business, I would like to also have you on payroll at some point. The first time that she mentioned that, it was just payroll. It wasn't where that payroll was going to come from. It was not anything specific. I said that's fine. That's cool. Whatever. Like, I didn't think anything of it. I'm sorry. There's a lot of points. So I'm taking a breath. So we started moving forward. She started asking me, like, what responsibilities can we give Kelly? I said, I think that Kelly would be great for, obviously you said social media manager. So doing stuff with your social media, like we need to start posting your content. We need to get your content going. And that's kind of where we moved forward with everything. So basically I was doing a lot of stuff, behind the scenes. Not a lot of people know what I was doing. I feel like there's a very big misunderstanding in what Stella is saying that I did and what I actually did. I think one of the issues that is coming up right now is why would a mod want to be paid? And on the surface, I can understand why people would think that. but I was doing a lot more than what a normal mod does. I wasn't just muting people and pinning comments. I was doing everything that I've said so far and more. You know, as our relationship went on, I was given more and more and more responsibilities, to the point where she was asking me to do set up like brand collaborations with her, look for hotels for her in LA, look for resorts, look for things that her and her family can do for content, answer the work email and respond to fan mail, and then, you know, continuously updating the website as she continued to do things with the business. And then on top of that, yes, I was also a mod. So at the same time, I was also mentoring our new mod that had just come up and helping Kelly, you know, backing Kelly and doing that, because that was really her responsibility, but I was backing her on that. So I was helping teach the new mods that were coming up and the new assistants that she had coming up for the T pages. I was still helping to...
It was assistant. It was, you know, second hand, like right hand. You did a lot. You did a lot. And the issue right now is she makes it seem like you were just a mod. That's Correct. It. And that's not true. I want y'all to really, really hear that. None of that is true. Raya did a lot. She was basically the manager of Stella's entire brand, actually. So I want y'all to really hear that and understand that, because she wants to make it seem like Kelly or Raya was just only a mod, pinning, blocking, muting, reminding about likes. That's not it. And she was putting in hours. She has her own family. She has her own life. But she was sitting here being the overall manager of Stella's entire brand, from FO content to TikTok content to TikTok lives to Discord. She put the whole Discord together. Merch. Stella only gave her the idea for a pillow and a sticker. So everything else you see on that website came from Raya's ideas. And she's completely discrediting everything Raya has done. I really want to emphasize that, y'all, while you're listening.
Yeah, that's entirely correct. That's why it was so hurtful for me to say, oh, you were just a mod, you just made a website for me. So I was like, girl, like, you know, I did so much more than that. It went down to the fact that she didn't know how to set up her EIN number for her business. Me and my man helped her do that. She didn't even know what it was. She was saying that she was having trouble setting up a business bank account. So I told her that she could put it under an EIN number, which is how you get your LLC for a business. She didn't know any of that. And I helped her and I walked her through how to set that up as well, how to sign the paperwork and everything, and what she could do with that EIN number as well. I mean, it went down to, she would have me do the business meetings with our mods. She would be off doing something with her content or with her man or whoever, whatever. And she would say, hey, Raya, can you go do that business meeting with Kelly and Brianna? Can you go talk to the assistants for me? And the thing is that with that also came the other side of it. She didn't want to do any of the confrontation either. And that kind of leads into the other issue, that she wants to sit here and say, I was in control of everything. I didn't let her make decisions. And, you know, I did this, that, and the other. The thing is that I was essentially like the puppet. She was telling me, hey, I want you to do this, that, and the other. Now go do it. And so I was the face. I was what everyone was seeing. Yes. So it looked like it was coming from me, but it really wasn't. I would tell Stella, hey, this is what your community is wanting. This is what I'm seeing in the lives that people are wanting. What do you want to do about that? Here's my opinions on what might be a good idea, and how do you want to go forward? She would then tell me, we'd have a conversation, and then we would execute that plan. So, and then I was typically the one executing it. So anytime she had a problem with someone, I was the one who came to them and had to have that conversation. Anytime that she wanted to upgrade somebody to a mod, I was the one that typically had that conversation, or me and Kelly had that conversation. And it all went like that. So, you know, I feel like the extent of what I did for Stella is being extremely downplayed. So fast forward, you know, when we started talking about payroll and payments and everything, you know, there were two things that we mainly talked about.
Besides, with this issue, she is trying to say that you're extorting her for $3K. So I definitely think you need to hit on that and clear that up, because you're not extorting her for anything. And you also are not extorting her for $3,000. That is not real. That didn't happen. So if you want to touch on that and explain that, I think that would be helpful, because she is running with that story in Discord, on lives, telling Allison. Now Allison has your name in her mouth. So I think that would be important to speak on.
Yes, exactly. And so basically there were two different payments that we had talked about. One of them was the FO management, which she wanted me to have 10% of all sales on that website. And then there was also the merch that she did offer me 10% on. Now, I do want to explain, I told her that I did not even really want sales on merch, because I know how that goes. I'm not dumb. I know how that goes. If you're not making sales, then you're not going to be paid. And the thing is that I'm doing way too much work to not be paid at that point. So I had originally asked her, because she asked me what I wanted. I said, maybe like 20% of profits in general would be fair to me. But if you want a different number, we can work that out. But I said I wanted overall profits. So that meant anything like collaborations, brand deals, etc., etc. Right? So, and she was like, well, I'm not making money right now, so I don't think that that's fair. And I said, okay, well, what do you want? She was like, oh, well, maybe 10% of merch sales. And at that point, I just felt like, you know what? I don't really have a choice. I'm kind of just not doing the brand's not doing much right now. So I'll just take it where it is. And then maybe we can talk about things as we go. Because when we talked, I said, is this something that we can kind of work on as the brand grows? She said, yes. I said, okay, so with that in mind, then I know you're willing to negotiate with me in the future. So fast forward, I'm doing all of this work for her for a month. She's making money on the FO website. We're doing a lot of productivity. She's going places. Like, things are going good for the brand. She's getting the word out there. Things are growing. So I say, okay, Stella, hey, look. I sent her a very professional message. And what I was trying to explain to her was, I don't hold the 4 months of modding and everything else that I did for you for the business against you. Like, I did that. Yes, that was under the influence of being a friend, being someone nice, just simply caring and loving you. But going forward, I've done my research. Here's what the average influencer manager does, which is in the scope of work that you are now putting on my plate. I am now an influencer manager for you because of the scope of work I'm doing for you. I'm no longer a mod, right? So I said, this is what they averagely make. Is there any way that you would be willing to work with me? I said, negotiate, actually, a different payment for me. And then she said, well, how much do you want? I said, well, I just told you, this is what the average person makes. I understand that I'm not certified. I'm just going off my skills I've learned. So, I just want a retainer fee. And you can keep all of the profits for your entire business. I don't want any of it. You can have your FO stuff. You can have your merch stuff. You can have your brand deals. I don't care. Any other profits you make are yours. I was like, I just want one number a month. And she said, well, I don't have that amount.
Message that she sent, y'all, if you would like to screenshot it and read on your own. Go ahead, Raya.
Yeah. So, long story short, that conversation didn't go very well. I was very much so trying to be as professional as I could about it. And yes, I did tell her I was not going to have a phone call with her, because I had a very bad feeling that this exact situation was going to happen, unfortunately. I really didn't want there to be any chance that my words and what I said to her could get twisted or changed in any way. So I said, I'm not calling you about this issue, even though it is a very professional issue, because I want it all documented. And I said that in my message. And I told her at the end of the message, hey, you told me at the beginning of this that it was a business, that there's a business and a friendship relationship, and this is not it. And, that's all I meant by my message to her, was a business relationship. Can we negotiate my payment? Going forward, I said, I do not want any payment today. I just want to talk about forward. Right. And so she was not understanding that. I felt like I was going in circles with this girl. I felt like she was not reading all of my messages. I felt like we were just fighting to fight at some points of this. I said, this is not going anywhere.
Just to state, this is actually the messages of Raya explaining what she was doing, how she was helping her, especially with her OF and everything, and what she kind of was asking of her as a content creator so that she was able to build a platform as well as make money.
Yep. So if y'all want to read this, you can screenshot it and read it. Or again, I do want to remind y'all, I will download and upload this to my YouTube. So if you miss it or your friend missed it, you can always go back and watch it and pay attention to whatever you might have missed. But we do have receipts behind everything that's being said tonight. I just want to make that very clear. There you go. She did wipe the camera. There you go. If y'all would like to screenshot that. Right. Anything else you wanted to hit on or continue with before we move on to the next person?
Yeah, I mean, I would just finish up by saying, like, hey, like, you know, there were some things that were taken very, very out of context, such as things like I was trying to extort her, or I was trying to come for Owen, her man, for money. You know, things like that were twisted. Like, for example, the thing with Owen, I told her at one point, because she said, you know, hey, I said I had threatened her to go to court. Yes, I definitely said that. It wasn't even a threat. It was a promise. I was fully ready to do that. I have a lawyer on retainer and I was willing to do it, because what I had told her was, hey, look, if you don't want to pay me in the future, like, let's cut ties. I said, but hey, look, I did do your website for you. I did make all the merch designs. All those designs are mine. You never paid for them. It's like, you know, if you were to go to a flea market and someone made a product and they offered it to you and they said, hey, look, here's this cool product. Do you want it? And you said, yes, I want it. And I'm going to use it for my business. I'm going to hang it up in my store, right? But then you're like, but I don't have the money for it. I don't want to pay for it. You know, the person's going to take their product back. And so I tried to explain that to her. I said, hey, look, these are the products I made for you. You're using them for your business. You now have an LLC, so you really are using them for your business. That's a legal issue. I said, you can either pay me for my products, which we agreed upon, and I have text messages for $300 just for my website designs and the merch designs and everything else, the Discord that I made for her and everything. And then I said, and I will walk away happily, and you can keep all of the work that I did for you. I said, or I can take all my work back, and then you don't have to pay me anything. And so we had gotten to an issue where she started saying, okay, well, I'm broke. I said, okay, that's not really my problem, but okay. I said, well, you know, after some back and forth, I eventually said, okay, well, it's looking like I'm going to have to take you to court. Like, that's where you're putting me in a position of. And she's like, well, I'm broke, so you're not going to get nothing from me. I said, okay, well, just to let you know, in case you didn't know, when you sue somebody, they're going to garnish your wages. If you don't have wages and you're a dependent of somebody, which I know very well due to our personal conversations, she is a dependent of Owen. He pays for her whole life. They're going to garnish your dependent's wages too. And that is where that comment came from. She's saying, I'm suing Owen. That's not what I said. I said, if the courts can't get money from you, they're going to get it from whoever's paying for your life. And that would be Owen. So I definitely want to clear that up, because I never said that I was coming for him. He is innocent in this. In fact, he is a godsend to that woman. I don't know how he puts up with her. I'm just going to say that. Like, I'm not trying to be any type of way, but she is, how do I say this nicely? She is a very high maintenance woman, and he deals with it beautifully. He is an angel to her, and I hope to God that she appreciates him as much as we can see the way that he takes care of her and his daughter. I mean, they have a beautiful family. So I never once would ever come for him, because he is entirely innocent in this. It's just that when he's paying for your life and you get in trouble, that's the person the courts are going to go for. So it is what it is.
That is the norm. So That's nothing new. That's not you trying to target him. That's just the norm. So Kelly, are those all the rumors that you want? I mean, not Kelly, Raya. Are those the issues that you and the rumors that you want to clear up for you specifically? And then we can go on to the next person as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's different topics that I definitely would like to come back to, but as far as clearing my name, I think that I've covered mostly everything as far as that goes.
At the beginning, yes, we're listing names and giving everybody a chance to speak, and then we also have multiple topics we are going to hit, because I know you guys are speaking on the mom boss situation. I know you guys are speaking on the minor situation. There's essay allegations. There's so many things. So we will hit all of those topics as well. I just want these ladies to be able to speak for themselves first before we get into all of those topics as well, but we still will, okay? And if you guys have to leave or come back or whatever the case might be, like I said, this will be downloaded and posted to my YouTube with no cuts, no edits, so you can always come back and watch it later on if you need to step out or whatever the case might be. Okay, so next I want to go on to Brianna. Brianna, are you available to speak on what happened with you and Stella and how she treated you?
Yeah. So I'm Brianna. After the Allison thing went down, she got rid of her 2 mods, and then she made me a mod after I sent her $200. I was also a top gifter, and I gifted her a leopard, $200, a lion, out of the kindness of my heart, and she never reached out to me privately as a mod, and I just felt very taken advantage of. When I left the Discord, she basically told me and Kelly to choose between Rhea and Stella. She took my mod permissions away and put me in timeout in the Discord after all the things I've done to prove my loyalty. She made me think talking to her was a safe space, and I talked to her about my relationship, and she openly talked about my personal relationship, and she said, I'm just mad because my man isn't obsessed with me like her man is. She basically mocked me. I just wanted to let you guys know, as one of her top gifters, when I left her Discord, she called me obsessed for gifting her $600 all in total when I did out of the kindness of my heart because I supported her and cared about her. So if I'm obsessed and everyone gifted or gave her money, is everyone obsessed? What about the times you paid Allison's rent? Does that mean you're obsessed? I'm just saying. I bought a tumbler from Stella's merch website. I never got my cup or my money back. So yes, to say she is a scammer, she is. The $200 I gave her from the kindness of my heart, from when she fed her dog grapes, she didn't have money to pay her vet bill, so she went on live asking for money, and I gave her the $200. She put my $200 and my name in the raffle when I didn't tell her I wanted to be in the raffle. She just wanted to cover the spots because no one was entering. Yeah, she basically took my kindness for granted the entire time. I was my mod, I was a gifter. I just, I don't know, I just wanted to clear my name up. And on a side note, I did not beg to be a mod. She asked me to be a mod after I sent her the $200.
And
She was telling everybody.
didn't she continue to speak about you after you left gracefully? She went into Discords and started talking about you being obsessed and such like that. Is that what happened?
Yes. She went all over her Discord. It's all over the T page. It's on the Rolf's T page, actually. And she was talking about, she basically forced her supporters to block all of us that are on the panel.
Wow. Well, everybody who's in this room, make sure you follow everybody on the panel, okay? You lost a couple bad seeds. Let's get a couple good ones. If you guys are in here and you support these ladies for just being able to clear up their name, please give them a follow. So Brianna, you never got your Tumblr, you never got your money back, and then your money was thrown into a raffle that you never wanted to be a part of in the first place. How has she gone about this? Like, I see that there's messages that you tried to, reconcile with her and you tried to be cool afterwards. Why did you do that? Or why did you feel like that was necessary? And how did that go when you tried to at least smooth things over with her?
So after she took my mod permissions away and stuff like that, and took all my mod permissions, or put me in timeout in the Discord. I sent her an apology letter. Like, I was the one apologizing for no reason. Like, I literally sent her an apology letter. I think I have it or somewhere. But like, I told her I'm sorry. Like, what do you want me to do? And she posted it in her haters Discord chat. Like, she posted it like I was hating on her because I wanted to apologize for the shit she did.
How does that make you a hater if you're apologizing and trying to smooth things over?
I that's a good question, because I saw it on the Ralph's Tea page and I was like, what? How is that being a hater?
So this is when you sent the 200 for the dog, correct?
Yes, for the dog and her vet. I told her, yeah, that the message I sent there, basically spend it on your man or whatever you want to do with it. And she put it in the raffle without my consent. She just said basically, oh, here, you can have the raffle, and that's all, to cover up all the spots because nobody was entering.
And that was after her man already agreed to go ahead and pay the vet bill. Instead of giving her money back, she transferred it over to a raffle you did not want to be in.
Yes, she didn't send it back to me. She didn't, be like, hey, like a genuine person. Hey, here's the $200 you sent me. My man is paying for it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. She never sent any of that. She was very ungrateful for the things I've done. I came to Kelly and Rhea about everything. I'm like, I just feel like she's not being grateful for the things I've done. I've never gotten a private call from her after I sent, pretty much after everything is like $200 or $600, $800, whatever it is.
That is fucking ridiculous to me. Like, even when you told me before, I was like, wow, but just to hear it again is like, why? Like, but you say that from her actions and from the things she says, she values her top gifters. She values the people that send her a lot of money. You did that. And you still didn't get that value, and you still didn't get that care and support and like appreciation.
Yeah, she even said we're on a call. I think Rhea and Kelly can say or cover me up for this, but she had said like we were talking about, oh, we need to give Brianna like more stuff to do, because I was also like running a T page too for her and like being like a social media manager while running the Discord. And she basically, oh, Brianna's great, she's a great sponsor. She didn't tell me that I'm a great person, like I'm a genuine person, I'm this and that. I'm a great sponsor. That's all she said.
Instead of a great supporter, a great help to the team, an awesome person who, really supports me, you're a great sponsor.
Yes.
That's a lot of how she thought of you or felt about you. She saw you as a cash cow.
Yeah, she saw me as like, oh, she's gonna give me money. I'm gonna keep her. And that's why I think she kept me in the Discord, because she knew I gave her fucking money.
Wow.
And she got upset that I left because she's like, oh, and by the way, I kicked those girls out. She never kicked me. I left from my peace and happiness. My peace and happiness comes first.
Absolutely. Brianna, is there any other things that you want to clear up from your end that happened with you and Stella before we move on to the next person?
I think we cleared everything up. I'm sure if we come up with something else, I'm sure we can speak on it.
Okay. Thank you, Brianna.
Yeah, thank you.
So next I want to go on to Tiffany. Tiffany, you have been accused of multiple things. You've been accused of being crazy, of being two different people, of being a stalker, all these different things, but you are none of those things at all. You were actually in school to become a doctor.
Yeah, I am.
So go ahead and clear up accusations that are on you and everything that is, just being spewed upon you, that you are none of those things. And let's keep in mind, Tiffany was never a mod anyway. So let's just get
yes. So I was never a mod. I was actually a verified stellar, meaning I had to put in an application to become in a higher level.
in the Discord.
I left the Yes, I left the group peacefully. I had sent a message to everyone, telling everyone that I would be there for them, that, that I just supported them and this, that, and the third, but I couldn't do everything that was going on with the Allison stuff. Also, keep in mind, like I said, I'm in college. I'm a senior for psychology. So I kind of could already see the narcissistic tendencies coming out in her. And I just didn't want to be a part of that for my mental health. I didn't want to be a part of that. So I left the group. I had made a Discord with all of the previous supporters. For us to keep in contact, for us to keep in touch. And I kind of just left the situation as it was. I left peacefully. I never talked about anyone. I just left it how it was. Come to find out, it surfaces that I'm crazy, I'm obsessive, I'm a cyber stalker, I'm against mental health, and all of these crazy accusations that could potentially hurt my future, trying to become a doctor, because those are obviously crazy accusations for someone who wants to help mental health. I've always been supportive of everyone who's been in the group or out of the group or whatever, aside from Stella, and I always told all of them that. I also was in a Discord a couple of nights ago where Stella made her appearance at, and she was basically laughing and joking about essaying me, her friend who had said that she would essay me, and Stella was joking and laughing about it. And then so I retaliated and said how I felt back, that I basically wouldn't mess with them, and that it was gross, it was disgusting, and yeah, as you guys can see. I don't regret anything I said because I only ever said anything in retaliation to what everyone said about me. And I also want to clear up that I didn't get forced out of the group. I left willingly. I didn't get pushed out. And yeah, I'm not a stalker. I'm not crazy. And I don't got mental issues.
And there is no reason that a friend of hers would say, I'm an SAUB. And for Stella to think that was funny.
Right.
Why is that funny when you personally, Stella, have SA allegations? Why? So you don't take SA seriously? It's a joke to you? Because it happens to millions of people in this world every day, and it's not funny. And it's not a joke. And it's not a diss. And it's not a, ooh, let me see if I can press a button with it. What?
Right.
That shit is weird. So I'm very, very glad that you caught that evidence. I'm glad that you have the backup behind that, because how would that be okay in any way?
And just the fact that allegedly, because we weren't all there, but for someone who didn't do it, like allegedly, it's funny that you want to joke around about it, and then your friends kiki and talking about essaying someone else. I just think that was disgusting. That was directed straight at me. So I don't know. I was just supportive of everyone who was in the group, regardless of Stella, and I tried to keep my name out of it. I tried to leave peacefully, and just because I was supportive of all the people who were previously had left, then I turned into crazy and obsessive and have mental issues and this, that, and the third. And even having people comment on stuff, saying stuff about mental health and this, that, and the third, like, oh, you don't support mental health. You don't support mental health. Like, that's very damaging to what I'm going for, because I'm a senior in college. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of time, effort, money that I've put in to become a doctor, you know, that could easily be ruined just because of someone with such a dangerous, big platform. So,
absolutely. And she's known to weaponize her platform to get done what she wants to get done. We already know this by proof, because she had majority of these girls running tea pages for her that would sit there and record her lives, record her content, and post it on tea pages for positive tea and marketing for her. She had her own PR team within her mods. They had 3 pages on TikTok and another 3 on Instagram. You wanted to build a story around you that was never real or true. And all of these women have the proof and evidence behind that. That's embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Tiffany, is there anything else that you want to speak on for you personally that you want to clear up before we move on to the next person?
No, I just want to say that I'm very supportive of mental health, and I've never ever given the inclination that I don't support people's mental health or the mental health awareness of what they got going on. And I just want to say that I think that it was disrespectful for everyone in that Discord group, including Stella, to talk bad about me, to say that I'm stalking her, or that I'm a cyber stalker, or that I have mental problems. Like, that's hurtful. And I've never one time said anything about any of you, including Stella. And so I think that that's just disrespectful. And I'm not any of those things, as everyone who's ever gotten to know me knows. Like, I support mental health. I support, having a positive and healthy mental health. So I just want to say that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Next, I want to move on to Miss Alexis. Alexis, can you go ahead and tell us what you did within the Stellar Squad, or your interaction with Stella, and what you're trying to clear up for your name?
So I wasn't really in it very long. I was a mod for maybe a month, if that. And I don't know, I've sent Stella a couple bucks here and there. I've sent a couple gifts, and really the thing is, when the whole Allison situation went down, me and another mod were basically the ones to stand up and voice everyone's feelings. And she kicked she kicked me and the other mod to the curb. I didn't get an explanation. I didn't get a conversation. I got in the Discord and saw in the main chat that I was no longer a mod, so I just automatically just left the server, because I don't know what you think I look like going from a mod and then still supporting you when I had no conversation at all.
Right.
So really I think that's all that happened with me. I've not been a mod for maybe a month now, so I've kind of had my time to deal with this stuff on my own. So I don't really know.
Okay, so were there any accusations or things that she put on you that you want to clear up? Or was it more so you just got dropped for no reason with no explanation, and you're just trying to clear up that you did nothing for that to happen to you? She may have gotten a call or something. Y'all give her a second.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So when you did your last list about Stella, that's around the time that I was dropped, and I was pinned as the person who was dropping all Stella's tea, that was dropping all of the Discord stuff, and I personally had not said anything about Stella. I was just playing along with the narrative, and I'd go in your chat and I'd send eyes emojis or whatever, and her little minions would comment back to me and call me out or whatever. But I was just playing the narrative. I never spilled anything about Stella. But if you're gonna make it seem like I am, I might as well just play along with the narrative in the comments. But I did apologize. To Stella.
She was not the one who sent me anything. I will confirm she was not the one who sent me any tea, any Discord screenshots, any information. It was not Alexis. It was not her.
No, definitely it wasn't me. And so I apologized after our whole Discord fight to Stella. I apologized to her one time. I'm like, hey, I got out of character. That's not normally who I am. I'm sorry. Well, apparently to the other mods, I was so needy, or I don't know how I can be needy and not available at the same time. I have 3 children. I have my own life, outside of TikTok. So that didn't make any sense to me, but that was really my whole thing with Stella.
Okay. All right, Alexis. Well, thank you for speaking on that. And let's move on to Tay. Tay, do you want to go ahead and speak on what happened with you, your interaction with Stella, and how she treated you, and why you need to clear up your name as well today?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, hi guys, my name is Taylor. Most people know me or call me by Tay, so that's what I was known as. I was a mod around the time. It was Kelly, Rhea, Alexis, and I. And there was Mom Boss at the time, and that will be probably part of a topic, but she was around the time that I was modded as well. I was kind of a mod during the beginning of everything. So pretty much it's just, there's so much, but long story short for my end, around the time of, I think it was some waffle, there was just already some tension anyways on the rise due to Stella kind of being out of the mix of all the constant, drama she was being brought into, or, all the accusations that was being brought against her. Sorry, hold on.
Give her a second chat.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I just had to get my phone back on the screen really quick. But unfortunately, she just would never really be there, and we as mods would kind of always be the backbone to answer to everyone, the community, people that would, kind of just be coming at certain mods in the chat. We kind of felt always like our backs were against the wall, and Stella didn't just really have any constant communication, and we were starting to get put on T pages, and we would bring it across to her, and there was no accountability there. Like, it was just constant, no accountability to the things that we would kind of bring up to her. So, pretty much all our feelings as mods at the time were kind of neutral. I said again, due to the vast amount of things that started to spiral during this waffle within the Discord, I was kind of one of the mods taken out of my position. What I was told was, my emotional side. Well, this is what kind of Stella was explaining to us at the beginning, but my emotional side wouldn't be a good fit for the business. Which totally get if you have that specific opinion, whatever it is, but whatever. Which, by the way, Stella had my own friends get on the call, which is the other mods, to give me that information to kind of X me out. So at the time, hold on, sorry. I'm walking back into my house, so it's kind of hard to talk. I'm all walking. Okay. All right.
Thank y'all for the
Anyway, so
tapping the screen as well.
pretty much at the time, it was pretty much like my own friends, the mods. We would be on the phone calls with each other 24/7. It wasn't even just always worrying about Stella or all the drama that Stella was in. It was genuine phone calls and talking about each other's lives and hobbies and experiences that we've been through. So it was kind of like I felt backed against a wall in a sense, and had no other reason but to kind of hang up on the phone call with my two good friends at the time. So it was kind of like too intimidating. I was like, no, I'm not about this. I'm kind of going to step away. This is not what I expected out of this, like whatever. But I kind of know that the real true reason why I was X'd out was because the day of the waffle started, everything kind of blew up in the Discord, and a couple of, everyone spoke their piece. I was one of the people who spoke up, and, me and Stella kind of got into a little quarrel, and, I told her to watch her tone with me. I said, you don't tell me when to stop speaking, one, and two, you're just, I don't know, I just was telling her how bad of a person she was. Red flags are red flags, and they'll always be red flags to me, pretty much. So I spoke my piece. I let Stella know to watch her tone, and pretty much I knew that it was all over after that. But I kind of was, I was accepting of it, because I always let her know overall else, if she doesn't expect true friendship out of business and to be friends with your business partners and to flourish together, her business never is going to truly flourish, I expect. So I respectfully left in my end, and I haven't personally said anything about anyone or anything. I don't watch Stella anymore. You know, I just kind of took myself out of it because I always tend to stay out of drama anyways. But when I'm treated like a child and stripped from my friends and the genuine connections that I made, I didn't want any part of it. So I was like, whatever. But I wrote a little something down and was like, well, I'm just gonna, you know, say like what I feel, and just to kind of wrap it up on this whole Stella thing for myself. So if I can read that, is that okay? Okay, perfect. Let's see, let me get it really quick. Okay, can you guys hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so I said, you know, I am here on the panel to state, you know, my piece, and, you know, I'm here for all of the girls and everyone in the community as well that has felt a certain way. You know, no ill intent towards anyone have I ever been, and I've always been kind of the peacemaker and positivity. So, you know, I just said, you know, I'm a grown woman, and I was treated like a kid along with my peers. And I said, no discredit towards, you know, any of us mods or anybody that was treated like crap, because for some reason Stella liked to do that to everybody. I said, Stella for months has been stripping her community and supporters of their emotions, personalities, and so much more, not just people's pockets. Back when I modded for Stella, I started off like anyone else. I was noticed for the amount of support, and all the time that I put into being in Stella's lives and chats consistently. I grew close with the girls in the community and would be on the phone. You know, we would go into the voice chats with our community and things like that. Real genuine conversations, yet every time Stella wouldn't be there, and let's see, I said she would just get exposed for something different, and there was always radio silence from her. The fact that Stella was always MIA on us, which now we know she kind of just put her focus into other things instead of us. We were always kind of the ones just to pick up her pieces and explain things to the community, even if we didn't know what the hell was going on ourselves. So she kind of let us suffer in her silence, all the while getting hate and kind of bashed and put on T-pages. So I just said Stella was nowhere to be found. And when she started the waffle, I knew right away she was not who we thought she was. At least for myself. Making a diss track for all of us, calling one of her best mods out and letting Allison speak on her. You know, I knew it was over. I knew it wasn't really Stella, or, you know, I don't know if that's her name, who knows, but we'll get into that. Especially when I stood on business with her on the phone, I just knew it was kind of over. So my last input is, it's kind of sickening and sad when a person knows what they're doing to people and they still don't care, and how it's making how it's making the other people feel about it. Like, I've said this again and again and again, everyone's stronger together. So that's all I have to say, pretty much.
Absolutely. And that was beautifully said, because, you know, all of these situations does take a toll on one individually as a person, not as a creator or as a mod, but as a person. I think that was beautifully said. So really appreciate that, and good job. Good job. Let's move on to Miss Kelly. Kelly, what do you have to say about your situation with Stella and the accusations and rumors she has on you at the moment as well?
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So yes, just like where to begin, but like I first just want to say thank you, Phoenix, and everybody for giving us this platform to speak up, because, you know, she has a pretty, you know, decent amount of following, and she's been talking about it all week. So it's nice to be able to speak our piece, because there's always three sides to a story: his, hers, and the truth. So it's nice for us to be able to get out our truth. But so yeah, anyways, I kind of came in right after Rhea did in the beginning. I noticed she was live one day and she had like 30 people and she only had one mod. And I said, hey, I can mod for you for the day if you want. And she modded me, and it just kind of went from there. And then the Discord followed later after. And everything was good in the beginning. It was like a community of women supporting women, and it was nice. It was fun. It was like, you know, it was just it was enjoyable. It felt like we connected, and there was women who kind of experienced the same thing, and we kind of leaned on each other. So it was a nice environment to be a part of at the moment. But then, like everyone else said, as soon as the waffle came, that's when everything hit the fan. And that's when everything kind of fell apart, like our whole community. She's like, I don't want things like this anymore. I want it to be a business. I want to go places. And in my head, I was like, at first I wasn't like with it at all, but I was like, okay, I can get behind a stay-at-home mom trying to make something of herself. You know, she wanted to make money. I can understand that. You know, what stay-at-home mom wouldn't want to have like a side hustle, you know, and not have to depend on their person. So I kind of agreed with her on that. But, you know, when the waffle, everything went down, all of us mods felt the same. So for her to kick 2 mods who were emotional just the same as us was kind of, it didn't make sense. And I don't know why, but like to back up one thing that Alexis may have said is, you know, she said that she said that Alexis was messaging her too much and that she was too emotional, and that's where the needy part came in. Like, and she's trying to say that we said that about her, but that's not true. So I just wanted to say that. And then, you know, Stella put me and Rhea in, or mainly Rhea, like, and I'm the witness for Rhea for that. Like, Stella made Rhea do all her dirty work, and so she could keep her hands clean, and made me and Rhea do the uncomfortable thing of telling these mods they had to go when it really should have been her to do that, because it was her decision to do that. And yeah, so we called Tay, and it was like really hard for us to do because we built a bond with these ladies, and Tay especially, you know, like, and it was hurtful to have to kick her out. And she put us in that awkward, uncomfortable situation, and we did not want to do it. And it's like, we had no choice. Like, was not going to do it, and we had to do it. Like, she pressured us so much just to show our loyalty. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you don't do something she says, then you're not loyal. You're a hater, you know, like you're a snake or an op. Like, it was so annoying and frustrating. So it was like constant pressure. And it's like, we're here to support you. We want to watch you grow. Like, we love you. You know, we truly, genuinely cared about her. And she just like took advantage of our kindness, and it was frustrating. But, so after all the waffle stuff, she turned it into a more business aspect, and she announced to the whole Discord, like, hey, I'm the CEO of my brand, and Rhea is now the manager. She will no longer be a mod, and she's going to be focusing on other things. So that's when she brought Brianna in and was like, Brianna, you're going to be in charge of this, and Kelly is going to be the social media manager, and wanted me to be in charge of. She gave me, I had to be on one of her backups, and she told me to go on her pages and comment to supporters and pretend to be her. And I think someone even caught me one time and was like, is this really Stella? And then she went on her main page and wrote that person and was like, yeah. And it's like, I don't know if they noticed that it was 2 different pages responding. I'm sure they probably caught that. But it was awkward. And it's like, she even came to me and was like, Kelly, you're not talking like me enough. You have to be like this. Like, it was, but I did it, you know, it was weird, but I did it, you know, because I wanted to show her that here, I'm loyal, like I'm supporting you. I want to watch you rise up to the top, you know, because that was her main focus, was building her brand and making money and putting herself out there more. And that's why she created those T pages and pressured us to post about certain things. And that was like basically her role for me, was to be in charge of responding to comments on her backup. And I kind of stopped doing that like after a week because it was just weird. And I focused more on what she wanted me to post on that T page. And that
what was her goal with the T pages? Because I see, to me, it's like a PR move, right? Like, I have my own T pages, you know, dedicated to me. But what was her goal when she told y'all, I need y'all to run these T pages, I need to post this? Like, what was her purpose for that?
Honestly, I believe, like, I can't really remember at the moment. I'm sure Rhea knows, but like, I believe it was for her to put out there, because a lot of T pages were clipping. Okay, so a lot of T pages were clipping like the negative stuff. She wanted to focus more on positive stuff. So she wanted to make these T/fan pages to show TikTok that people love and support her. So it's kind of like being full of yourself, honestly. I think like 3 was a little overboard.
And another 3 on TikTok, on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah. So I felt like, and I tried to tell her, let's cut back, like, and she was like, no. And I was like, okay. Like, at the end of the day, like, she would come to us for advice and opinions and stuff like that. And she would make the executive decision, as she would say, at the end of the day. So all these decisions and choices was all hers. She just used us to execute those decisions. But the T pages, I think it was to kind of prove to the world and TikTok that, no, we don't hate Stella. We love her. She's the best, da-da-da. And like, I had to approve comments. And a lot of the comments I couldn't have disagreed with. And because they were kind of right, like, but I couldn't approve them.
Yeah.
And I would constantly like send her them and say, do you want this approved? Do you want this approved? And she would say, no, or yes to that one. Like, she just wanted it out there that she was loved and appreciated and stuff. And like, I don't know, because she just was tired of the T pages posting negative stuff about her. And I guess she also this was around the time of the SA allegations, so she kind of wanted to veer off from that.
Oh,
yeah, she wanted to distract people.
The allegations is when she started doing these pages?
Yes. Well, yeah, also, and I felt like it was also a distraction tactic to kind of...
Wow.
Because I did get a lot of SA comments in the approved comments that I couldn't approve. So like people didn't forget for sure, but I feel like it was definitely a distraction tactic.
Wow.
That, yeah. And it was just like, it was very, a lot, like I said, a lot of pressure to post things. And hold on.
Wow, y'all, this is getting spicy. And if y'all think just them speaking on themselves is bad, wait until we address all the other situations. For example, Miss Mom Boss herself, the current mod, Cheyenne, the SA allegations, her true age, her true name, whether or not she is a citizen, allegedly. There's a lot that we are going to get into. So I need y'all to keep tapping the screen, keep this live up, keep it hot, keep us on the For You page. Do not let any mass reporters take over this live. Please keep tapping the screen and sharing the live as well. If you appreciate anything or you want to support any of these ladies, please make sure you follow them. Send them a little rose, or if you want to support that way, you can do that as well. And let's just keep this room hot and keep it active. We are also pushing for a gift gallery this week, and we only need 2 more gifts. So if y'all want to help support this type of content that I create, you can also do that as well. Totally up to y'all. Make sure you are following all these ladies. You are following me, and we will continue this conversation. We will not be silenced. If anything happens to this live, we will move over to favorited and continue the conversation. Thank you, everybody who's here, and the comments have been very respectful. I don't see anybody being disrespectful or rude. That's why the comments are still open. Otherwise, we had full plans to go on to sub only if needed. Again, this live will be downloaded and saved and posted to the YouTube, so it will have no edits, no cuts, no nothing. So if you miss anything or you had to step out, you will be able to watch it again on the YouTube. The YouTube is linked in my bio, just like every other social media I have is there. Just give Kelly a second. She might have had a call or something else that she had to step away for. So just give her a second. Are there any?
I'm here.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened. But I'm going to touch back on the T page. I just want to say, like, so I'm going to go back to after the waffle when she decided to boot the other mods, which was already like, everything shifted after that. It wasn't the same anymore. And she told us that this is no longer about friendship, and that we're focusing on the business. And if you can't put your emotions aside, then you can't be a part of it. And it's like, I'm an empath, I'm an emotional person. So the fact that she kept me around was questionable. And when she did decide to keep me, she didn't talk to me for like a whole week, honestly. So it was like, why am I even here? I would always go back to Rhea and be like, what am I here for? Because she said she wanted me to be a social media manager, but like, where was it going? And then that's when she introduced the T pages to me and whatnot. But she told everyone, like, and she said on the phone with us that Rhea is now the manager. She doesn't want her to focus on being a mod as much. And that's what me and Brianna had to do, was do the modding. And she wanted to get us assistants. And that's where Cheyenne came in as an assistant. And she said that she was the CEO and Rhea was the manager, and I was like Rhea's second in command. And I feel like she only kept me around, honestly, to keep tabs on Rhea, because like when Rhea wouldn't answer the phone, she would constantly call me and be like, "Where's Rhea? Have you heard from Rhea?" Like that was the only time she really like would hit me up. And it was just like
to keep tabs on her right hand man.
Yeah, like and I was fine with that. Like I was fine with being, Rhea's like assistant, helping her out. But it was just like it went from like a friendship community, girls, like it was fun, and then she turned it into this whole thing, and it was like it's like and a lot of people left after that, and it was sad, and then she got sad about it. And it's like, but why are you sad about it? Because you're the one that decided to change everything up. You're the one who chose this. You got rid of 2 great mods for no reason because of a disagreement that we all were on the same page of, and that week that she decided to do the raffle or waffle, she ignored us all week, didn't tell us anything about it. And all we did was express that it was a bad idea to do it and to collab with Allison because Allison's very controversial. And she said that her family didn't want her in drama, that her family was so ready to pull the plug on the Wi-Fi because they didn't want her to be on TikTok anymore because of the drama. Like they didn't want her a part of that. So why are you linking with the one who has the most drama on TikTok? Like that's all we were trying to get across.
Stirs drama and continues drama for attention on TikTok. Why would you link with that person?
Exactly. So we were trying to keep her away from the drama, and that's why we all felt the same way, along with all the other supporters. And we were trying to just like have her back, but she did not care. She did not care at all what we had to say, but she, at the end of the day, decided to boot those 2 mods and keep us and then bring Brianna in. And Brianna is the sweetest girl in the world. And, she was more than happy to do it. And I feel like she only made, like Brianna said it, like I feel like she only made Brianna a mod because she donated that $200 and she wanted to keep her around because she felt like she was like a sponsor, like someone who, like an
investor.
Yeah, investor. Yeah, I feel like that was the main reason. Like she saw dollar signs when it came to Brianna.
That's so sick, dude.
I heard through the grapevine that Allison had told Stella, make your mods your top gifters. That's what I do. So that's where Stella's at right now. So the only reason that they're mods is because they're top gifters or something like that. Like if you're not a top gifter, if you can't pay, you can't stay. Basically is how I see it. If you don't pay to support Stella, you're not a real supporter, which I think is really petty. Like even if you gift her a rose, that's not good enough for her. Which I think you should be grateful for anything.
Absolutely. Roses add the fuck up. If y'all know, like there have been times that I wanted to do like rose battles only because that shit adds up. And that gives more people the opportunity to support you or to, participate. There's people that want to battle. They can't battle because they only have a couple dollars. But roses are a way for them to support. It helps with speed. It helps with other little tasks and things that you can get during battles. It's like if you're so unappreciative of the little things, you don't deserve the big ones. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and it made me kind of uncomfortable because around the waffle time, she made us all feel like crap because we couldn't enter $25. Like none of my supporters it's mainly Allison's, and it's like, girl, like I can't afford to lose $25. I'm sorry, like I really can't. And honestly, I don't have money like that. So I feel like I was always like, she didn't really pay no mind to me. Like I said, I was mainly there to assist Rhea. I feel like she didn't pay mind to me because I couldn't afford to support her, but I did send her $10 when she was asking for money for her dog's vet bill, whatever. And I felt really bad because she was alone. It was like 4 a.m. and I helped her, try to ring up more cash, for that. And at the end of the day, her man ended up paying for the bill. So it was like, we donated all that for what?
Right.
So it was kind of like I felt
being a good person and being like, hey, I don't need this anymore. I know that most of y'all do, or some of y'all do. I'm going to return this. That never happened.
Yeah, and that's exactly what she did with Brianna's money. Instead of saying, hey, thank you for donating this, like, I know it was for the bill, but my man, he took care of it. I'm going to send it back. No, she just ended up taking it and putting it into the waffle because nobody was entering. And by the way, to the waffle winner, she made me send $1 to the waffle winner. I don't know why she couldn't do that herself, but she made me send $1 to the waffle winner to let them know they won. I feel bad for them because I genuinely feel like they're never, ever, ever, ever going to see that person. If they do, it'll probably be months from now. So I think doing the waffle was such a scam and it's a shame because all those people really like probably got excited and really did want to win. But the winner is not going to see that for a minute because she switches her focus on so many things, and that's the last thing on her mind. And that, it just like, I feel like I was mainly there, like I said, to be her Rhea's assistant, and I was okay with that because I still supported Stella, but like after the waffle, things just got weird and it wasn't the same anymore, and it felt very controlling. Like she told me I couldn't talk to King, or like, like she didn't want us to have anything to do with you. It's like whoever she doesn't like and we can't talk to or support, like we only could support her.
Wait,
it felt like,
hold on. I didn't know that. She told y'all couldn't support me?
Well, it felt like if we did support you, like if she ever saw one of us in the lives, she probably would have been like, oh, they're an op, they're a snake. Like that's just how it felt. Like we could only support her. Like we weren't allowed to support anybody else unless she liked them. So like we knew she had issues with you, so it felt like we weren't allowed to support you.
Wow.
And it seems like she's very controlling to her supporters, and it's sad because I feel like they should have the right to support whoever they want to support.
Absolutely. That I do want to say one thing about me. As y'all can see, none of my supporters have my emoji. Rosa has my little heart because she likes it. It's cute. But there's no emoji next to my supporters' names. There's no like thing that I want y'all to identify yourself as a Knicks Navy member, because people who like me, people who hate me, there's so many opinions out there. I don't want you to go into a live space and all of a sudden you're being targeted because you are a Phoenix supporter. I do not do that to my people. I feel like that's so wrong. It's not fair because that can affect y'all mental health. As much as it affects mine, as much as it affects my mods, I would never want to put that on people that just want to come and have a good time in my space. But for her to turn around and be like, y'all must put this in your name. You cannot support this supporter or this creator. If you do, you're an op. You're now fake. Like that is so insane. It feels like everything you guys have been describing this entire time feels like a cult. Like truly.
And I will agree with that. I saw that comment after the waffle thing went down, and I kind of agreed with it. Like I was like on the fence. Like I still wanted to be there, and I was still loyal to her, and I supported her, and I could have went and, told everything, but I didn't. I still stood by her side, and through all the, her being called a racist and the essay allegations, we still stood by her side. We were constantly keeping tabs on people and what they were saying. And it's like, we were like her girls, and in the beginning it wasn't like that. But after the waffle, that's when everything changed. But we still accepted it and understood like where she was trying to go with it. So that's what we tried to do. And she would come to us like, oh, how can I change my aesthetic, guys? I need a change. I need to switch something up. I need, we would help her out with picking out what next wig she should wear. But she's like constantly wants to change her appearance and do this and do that. And it's like, just have a niche and stick to it. And I think a lot of
that's her problem though, is she doesn't know who she is. She's trying to fit in the people that are going to have views, attention, money, gifts, sit there and just be pretty and get money. You don't have a personality for that though, Stella. People who get those things and can garner those things and can and grow throughout themselves is because they have a personality that people are attracted to. They have content that they're attracted to. They are entertaining. They are fun. They are lit, whatever it is. But Miss Stella doesn't have those things. Like literally. And she's yet to know who she is. She doesn't know who she is as a creator. She doesn't know who she is as a mother. She doesn't know who she is as an individual woman at all. She identifies everything as her content. That is her man's work. Your man's content, your man's job, your man's locations, vacations. They're not vacations. They're work fucking locations. They're work trips for your man. And you come along because you're insecure. Let's be real. Let's be honest. You're sitting here acting as though you're doing all these big and bad things. The Ferrari event was not your event. It was your man's. Okay? Swim week is your man's event, not yours. But you don't have anything of your own that you can actually identify as Stella, my content, the reason I'm going to be big, the reason I'm an influencer, the reason I'm a content creator. You don't have those things, Stella. And as much as you want to say my content is about gossip and talking about other people, baby, I do it well. And people come to me for a reason. Sorry. I know you see Tyra Banks, Oprah, Jason Lee, Adam 22, Wendy Williams, Ellen DeGeneres. There's a market that I have found that works for me personally, and I will never take it back because I know who I am and I know what works for me. My personality fits what I'm doing. That's why I grow. That's why it works. And because I'm real as fuck. I'm the realest bitch on this shit. It's that simple.
And I feel like you also make people aware of a person before they go and support that person. So for the ones that are still supporting her, you should be aware of all these things if you're going to continue to support her. Just because, I mean, I feel like, and everything she says, you got to take it with a grain of salt because I really, truly believe she's like a pathological liar. I always felt like deep down inside, she was hiding things from us and not telling us things. And when the T pages, I had to start the T pages, it felt like a lot of pressure. Like she was like, Kelly, why aren't you posting this? But you guys need to post like 3 times a day. I need you to post this. I need you to post that. And it took like a toll on me. And I'm a mother of 3. I got to take care of my kids and I got a man to take care of as well. And it finally got to a point where I was burning myself out. And while she's chilling and sitting at a bar, drinking and eating chicken wings, Rhea's doing all the work. She wanted everything handed to her on a silver platter. And if we didn't deliver, it was like our fault. Like,
you know what's crazy about, this is not my first time hearing it, chat. Okay. We spoke 2 days ago and we spoke today. And you know what's crazy to me is everything that her entire mod group did for her is a influencer's dream, baby. All you had to do was create. They would edit for you. They would post for you. They would promote for you. They would help you with brand deals. They did everything for you. And you had no appreciation. You had no consideration for their time, their effort, the time they're taking away from families, children's, their men, whatever it was. You did not care because there was no money behind it for you. Yeah. That's embarrassing, Stella, because at the end of the day, everything that my mod group does for me, I tell them I cannot pay you right now. I wish I could, and I will one day. They know I reference the Rihanna story every fucking day. I say I'm going to build with whoever's going to stick around, and at the end, you go be a millionaire too, for a fact. I'm honest about that. If whatever they help me with and do help me with, they know at this moment I cannot pay for it, but one day I absolutely 100% fucking will. And they believe in that because they know me. You feel me? So the things that you did to these women is so hurtful to hear from creator to creator, because I would have loved to actually taken the time to appreciate these women for everything they did. They had time that they had to give to you because they wanted to support you and help you. They saw you getting bullied and bashed and trashed all across the internet, so they gave you a chance to have a support system, and you abused it, and you never appreciated it, and you saw it as a dollar sign and not real people with lives. You're sick. You're sad. And
yeah, it was
really
very
hurtful to hear what you did to these people. Kelly has been a supporter of mine since the Baddies days, when I was streaming Baddies last year. Before I ever did one interview, before I ever started a personality type show. Kelly has always been the realest bitch ever. So for you to do this to her really breaks my fucking heart, because Kelly is a sweetheart, and she has been honest since day one that I've met her that she doesn't have time for all of this, and she still tried to give you time for this. So it's sick and sad what you did to her, sick and sad what you did to Raya. Raya, what the girl? If I could hire you right now, I fucking would. I'm ready for merch too. I got all my plans and everything ready, but she abused and used you, and it's not fair and it's not okay. And these are the type of people that we gonna clock the T on every time, because nobody deserves to be used for their money and their attention and their time in this way. It's sick. It's not okay.
It's not how I ever thought she was going to end up being. And it's like, wait a second, is this who she was all along? And she just kind of like brought us in thinking she was this sweet girl, but really in reality, she just only cared about the money. Like I'm stuck, like confused, like which was real, what was real and what wasn't, like, or was this you all along?
From all the conversations I had with y'all, I don't believe this woman has a real bone in her body. Okay, she's playing a character. She's trying to figure out how to get into these spaces. But baby, you're 38 years old. Let me clock that T. You're 38 years old and you don't know who you are. You have no idea what you're trying to do. You're past the age of actually popping and doing something lit as fuck that makes sense to you with your personality and who you are, because you don't have a personality and you don't know who you are. But you are 38 years old using all these women who have families. They have men to deal with. They have lives to deal with. But you're 38 years old, lying on the internet to the island boys, telling them you 23, baby. You not know 23 and you never looked it. Okay?
Yep.
Ms.Wilkins, you are 38 years old. I need you to start acting that way. Okay? It's embarrassing. It's sick. It's sad. Y'all know from day one, I told you I'm 28 years old. You could believe it or not believe it, but I am 28 years old and I still act as a 28-year-old. I'm going to clock that T maturely. I might get out of character, but you already know I'm 28. This lady has been lying for months saying she was 23. You are 38 years old, Leslie. Ain't no Stella. Ain't nothing stellar about you. It's weird. It's sad. And your baby daddy, who supposedly might not even be your baby daddy, allegedly, he needs to get a DNA test. He is 25 years old, taking care of a 38-year-old woman who don't even know who she is, playing online with all these people's lives, all these people's times. And she don't know who she is. You about to be 40, baby. Come on now.
Yeah, and I just want to say, God bless that man. Like, he is the sweetest man, and I don't know how he does it. And I felt like she was in competition with him, and that's how it all began. She wanted to make more money than him, you know, like not have to depend on him. And it's weird because in the beginning of her following, when I became her mod, she never brought him up ever. Like, he was irrelevant. He didn't start coming in the picture until after the Allison stuff, the waffle and everything. And now he's all a part of her content. And it's just, it all was confusing. I felt like she was never honest with us about things, and she hid things, and she was hiding her past. And I felt like we were close. Like, we told her personal things about us. I opened up to her about a lot of things. And it's like, I guess she didn't reciprocate, or is that the right word? Reciprocate? Yeah. So, at the time when it started to burn me out a little bit with the pressure and everything of posting and doing this and this and that, and I noticed some comments that said I had to stop unfollowing her because she changes so much. She's not the same person. And I agree. And I told Stella I needed to take a step back because it was taking a toll on my relationship. My man even said, Kelly, this is cringe. Why are you doing this? Like, and I was like, because I like her and I want to support her and I want to see her, you know, like me and my man would go at it about it. And he's like, I don't want to see you doing it. Literally, it's stressing you out.
Here's her proof of age, chat. And this is not doxing. I do want to say that very loud and clear. This is not doxing. We got this information due to text messages that she exposed to her mods in the Discord. And we looked up her number, which brought up this name. And this is her name because we know through the NDAs that she made her mods sign, that was the same name she signed as well. And she is 38 years old. Thank you. As you can see, there's proof again. This is the number that we looked up and this name was brought up. That's the same name that is signed on the NDA proof that we also have. And she is 38 years old. Boom. And the reason we can speak on the NDA is because she broke the NDA her damn self. Mm-hmm. And there were too many loopholes within the NDA that allowed anybody to speak up and not be heard at all.
Yep. And on top of that, she made us sign a non-compete disclosure where we couldn't be a mod for somebody for 3 years, but that non-compete was like, it didn't matter because by law, I think Rhea explains it better. It's technically non-competes are, what is it, Rhea?
It was made federally illegal in April of this year. They made non-compete forms federally illegal across the board. I don't know the backstory to that as to why, but yeah, so she didn't know that. And the thing is, when I dropped, so when we were going back and forth about the money and all that stuff in my PMs with her, it was kind of funny because I told her, you know, I was trying to get her to just dissolve it in general and not have to pull that card on her. I was like, you know, hey, I just want you to dissolve the non-compete form so that I can go do business with other people, other creators. And just a little note there, she assumed that I meant like Fly and Kayla and Toxic and stuff. I never actually mentioned any of their names. I didn't actually intend to do work with any of them. I meant like other creators on TikTok in general. But anyhow, I asked her to dissolve it and she wouldn't do it. She was like, no, you can work in 6 months. I was like, I can't not work. Like, I have a family and everything. And she was like, well, you signed the form. And I was like, well, you know, and she was like, well, I just meant my community. I meant you can't work with anyone who's associated with me or my community or the people that I'm working with. And I was like, well, Stella, that's not how non-compete forms work. That means I can't offer any services that I offered to you to anyone else. So anyone on this business trip with her could not offer not only being a mod, but also any services that we did for her. So social media management and anything else that was included in that. for anyone else. And I was like, I can't not work, you know, I'm sorry. And she just kept going back and forth with me. So finally I was like, you know what, Stella, non-compete forms were made illegal in 2024. And she was like, why did you have me make them forms then? I was like, well, you asked me to do something for you. Who am I to deny you? Mm-hmm. That's not my fault that you didn't do your research. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. She never did her own research. She expected you to protect, produce, and do everything for her brand. The brand that doesn't even exist. It's real sick. It's real weird. Like,
So
completely.
she pushed, she like basically ruined a good community that she had started, all for this brand slash business that ended up falling apart anyways because you weren't dedicated to it. You just expected Rhea to do everything. And when she finally reached out about her part, like her end in it, you didn't want to give it up. But you're all for taking people's money, but you can't give it to the one person who was there for you through everything, like, and did everything. And that's why I like, after I told her I needed to take a step back because I said this was too much. And she said, okay, yeah, family first, da, da, da. But I felt like that kind of irritated her when I took like 5 days off, I think, of not posting or anything. But somehow my page started, doing great. And then on top of that, she told me, Brianna, and Cheyenne that we had to compete for payroll. Whoever's T page did the best will be on payroll. Even though she told Rhea that I would be on payroll regardless, but like she basically, that's what she said, that we would have to compete with each other to see who gets to go on payroll. And I never asked her for anything or expected it because I knew it wasn't going to come, but I wanted Rhea out of everyone to get that payment because she was giving so much of her time, energy, and effort into everything that she wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's when so after my break and then she went to LA and I just kind of fall back a little bit and I kind of only stuck around to kind of support, be there for Rhea, and I was still supporting her, but like I felt the disconnect and I felt like she was pulling away, and maybe it was because I took a break, but I told her that I was going to be, my son turned 1 on Sunday. I said, I'm going to be having a party for my son. I'm kind of busy right now. She blew me up the day of my son's birthday party because she wanted to talk about Rhea's message. And it's like she knew that it was my son's birthday. Not, no, hey, are you busy? No, she blew me up. So I finally answered, and she was calling Rhea money hungry and all this stuff. And I knew that wasn't true. And it was just like, I'm kind of busy right now at my son's birthday party. Like, I don't really have time to talk about this, and my whole family was giving me the side eye. It's like it was inconsiderate, because it was like when we needed to speak with her, she was never like available, or like it was so hard to get her on the phone to talk about what she wanted us to do and whatnot. She was constantly ghosting us. The communication was terrible, and we would say we would need team meetings, but she never jumped on board with that, and it never happened. And she blew me up just to say that, and it was just very inconsiderate in my eyes to bother me about that. And the next day I saw she unmodded me. She put me in timeout like a child. And it just felt like,
she really truly loves timeout.
Yeah. She said, you're on the, there's the messages. And she basically told me like, oh, it wasn't personal. And I felt like it was personal because she knew me and Rhea were close. So I felt like she unmodded me because I was friends with Rhea. And she took away the T page, but Stella, I want to let you know, you forgot to sign me out of your backup page, but I'm not going to like stoop to your level. I ended up just logging out. I could have, deleted everything on there and destroyed it if I wanted to, but I signed out peacefully, and you didn't kick me out. I left peacefully. I could have said something to her, but I was like, what's the point? Because it's not going to even matter. She doesn't care. And that's what I had to accept. She doesn't care what anyone has to say. Even if I said it in the most nicest way, once Brianna left, I left, and she tried to go and say, oh, I kicked them. I wasn't going to sit in timeout. She said she wanted a phone call to see where I was at. And it felt like that phone call was going to be about, you have to choose me or Rhea. And I wasn't going to do that because Rhea was there for me more than you were. You never genuinely cared about me, ever.
Exactly. And you felt and knew that. So
for my peace of mind, I like for my mental health, I have been avoiding. I blocked her on everything. I blocked all her people, her minions, and I haven't been really paying attention to what she and her minions have been saying in the Discord because she's already taken a mental toll on me. Like, I feel like I just got out of a toxic situation, you know, like relationship, and it took a toll on me. You know, I had to take a break when I was her mod. Like, it's a lot. She demands so much. She would pressure me. Like I said, when the SA allegations were happening, she pressured me to post about Red and was like, I want people to see our friendship, post about, or she sent me templates from CapCut and was like, oh, post this, put these pictures in there and post this, and then put this as the title and do this. And I was like, I don't think this is a good idea with the allegations going on right now. And she's like, I don't care. And I was like, I really felt uncomfortable doing it, honestly. And I kind of held off on it, and I was going to ask Rhea for her opinion. But before I could ask Rhea for her opinion, she was like hounding me, like, why haven't you posted it yet? And the video actually did good on views. Like, I think it's at 70K. I'm not sure anymore. But it felt uncomfortable to post about that. And then she made the other 2 girls post about it too. Oh, send the girls this so they can see and what to post. And it felt very weird. Like, her obsession with the boys was weird. And we tried to get her to focus on her alone. Like, we told her, you could do this without them. You don't need them, you know? And she never wanted to hear it. She just wanted to chase them because, yes, they're the reason that she got somewhat of a clout. And I'm starting to see that, yes, the stalker stuff might be true and the clout chasing is true. She was obsessed with them, like weirdly obsessed with them. She would write us in the middle of the night. She would see we were up and be like, let's go troll Red. I want to see if he'll answer me. And it's like, girl, he doesn't want anything to do with you. Like, he spoke his piece about you. Leave the boy alone. And then you have us posting about him on a T page.
Yeah, and don't forget that she would sit there. We would be on like mod calls with her, and she'd be like, oh my gosh, guys, Fly's online. I'm gonna go see if I can go live with him. Or she'd be like, let's watch Fly's live together on the call. Like, she would literally wait around for Fly to go live so that she can then go live with him. Literally, like up until like 4 o'clock in the morning, she would be sitting around waiting for Fly to go live.
We would encourage her, like, Stella, you don't need them. Like, you could do this. Like, focus on you and your family and whatnot. And no, she never could do that. She wanted them. She wanted to chase them. I feel like she plays nice with Kayla so that she could still have somewhat of a connection with Fly, because Red won't give her the time of day. So, and she has said that Kayla's jealous of her because she looks better. So she has said that. I don't have proof of that.
Do you think she looks better than Kayla?
I'll say allegedly, but I know she said it.
Oh, wow, bro.
She said Kayla was jealous of her.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Kelly, is that all that she personally did with you? Because I
Yeah,
want to move on to these
done.
topics.
I'm done.
These topics, because these are the ones that she just keeps running with and thinking that she's going to eat it up, and that's just not going to happen, chat. So the first one that I really want to address that I feel like people were asking at the beginning was the mom boss situation. Who can speak up about that and clear that up? Because mom boss is still currently one of her mods, correct? And
Yeah,
Oh, she hated me. Oh,
So before
one quick
Rhea,
disclaimer. Hold on one second, y'all. Disclaimer again, chat. Once we get into these topics, these are way more spicy. Okay, so I need y'all to continue tapping the screen like crazy. Share the live. Spam FYP in the comments. Make sure you follow all these people on the panel. We are bringing you real shit about real things that need to stop. So please support the live while you're here. Tap the screen. Share the live. Follow these people. If you're not already following me as well, follow me. And keep the live hot. So we're going to talk about Mom Boss now. Who can get started with that piece and how that began?
Rhea will have a better explanation, but I just want to say real quick that it was me, Tay, Mom Boss, and Rhea for a little moment. And in the beginning, she made, we had a private group chat because Stella did not want Mom Boss to be a part of certain subjects because she told us she didn't trust her. And like Rhea said, and I've witnessed, Stella makes Rhea do all her dirty work and confrontational work to keep her hands clean. So the fact that Mom Boss went back is because Stella made Rhea do the dirty work, you know? And it's like, if Mom Boss knew how Stella really felt, I don't think she would have gotten back.
And I believe we have screenshots of that as well, right?
Yeah, Rhea, go ahead. And
definitely sent a lot of screenshots of everything that had happened. Actually, the entire conversation from beginning to end about what happened to Mom Boss. So I have screenshots of the very beginning where Mom Boss was involved with everything. She was a mod. She was actually the first mod. I will give her credit. She was there before I was. I came in pretty shortly after her, and we were getting along just fine. I mean, there's screenshots of the Discord where we were having a good time together, being friendly to each other, yada yada. Things started getting a little weird. I noticed that Mom Boss was a little bit more confrontational with some of the supporters, and Stella had really pressed us to make sure that the community was a very positive place and everyone was treated equally and, you know, with respect. And I had brought it to Stella's attention a couple times that, like, hey, like, she's a little bit aggressive with some of the supporters. I don't know if we want to talk to her about that. And the very, you know, speeding up the story a little bit, the very last time, I guess, before she got removed, there was an issue. Someone had come into the live, and I noticed them, and they said, hey, one of your mods is a rat, and it's not Rhea. And it was someone who was a mod for Rico. And I was like, well, I know there's only one mod in our mod group that was a mod for Rico, and it was Mom Boss. And so I brought that and some of the screenshots I had found in the Discord of her being a little aggressive with the supporters to Stella's attention at the same time. And when I brought that to Stella, she said that she already had some reservations about Mom Boss because previously when we were on a mod call, Mom Boss had mentioned that she still spoke to Bianca. Now, I don't know anything about Bianca. I still don't know anything about Bianca, so I'm not going to speak on her much. All I know is that Stella was very upset about this. She said that she didn't have a good relationship with Bianca and that she was very hurt to know that Mom Boss was still speaking to that person. She also did not apparently know that Mom Boss had apparently had beef with her. She said Mom Boss had outed that information herself to Stella. And when Stella was on a private call with me, she said that she was not aware that Mom Boss was ever upset at her, and that if she had known that, she never would have made Mom Boss a mod in the first place. So going forward from there, there was a situation where Stella had brought me and Kelly and Tay some private information. I have a screenshot of that in the Discord where she was like, hey, I got to talk to my mods real quick. And it ended up being about the SA allegations. I mentioned to her at the very beginning of the conversation, and always had spoke up whenever other mods were not around. But in this situation, I said, hey, Stella, Alexis and Mom Boss are not in this chat, just so you know. Do you want me to add them? Like, that's what I was going with. And she was like, no, I don't want you to add them. This is between us. And I was like, okay, that's a little weird. So fast forward, you know, I had brought this stuff to her attention that someone outed her as a rat, yada, yada. And Stella was like, you know, I feel like uncomfortable with her. Like she was starting to question her loyalty, I guess. And so after talking to Stella back and forth, she started getting very aggressive towards Mom Boss and said that she wanted to have a conversation with her about removing her from the group. I have all of the screenshots to say that this information started with Stella. When me and Tay were talking to her about it, we said, hey, what do you want to do about the situation? Do you want to just talk to her? I assumed we were just going to have a meeting and just out everything on the table and then like just come to a conclusion of something. And Tay even recommended like, hey, do you just want to like temporarily remove like some of her responsibilities until we can just figure out and like have some evidence? Like, we didn't have any evidence of the rat stuff yet. It had just happened, and we were like, would it make you comfortable if we just like temporarily did something about it until we had more evidence on this and could talk about it with her? And she was like, no, I want her mod roles taken away immediately. She had me do that, and then we can call her. I was like, okay. So we call her. We're on the call for about 30 minutes, I think. And the call ends up being a demotion. And Stella said that she wants her like permanently demoted because she couldn't trust her anymore, given all of the previous information. And me and Tay were kind of just witnesses, per se. Like, Stella and Mom Boss did most of the talking. Mom Boss ended up crying. Me and Tay felt very, very hurt and uncomfortable in that situation because it honestly felt like a conversation that should have been between Stella and Mom Boss, not Stella, Mom Boss, and the rest of the mods. Like, it was very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And after the situation ended and the call ended and everything, she was like, I knew I felt sussed out about her, yada, yada. She told us that she didn't really even believe Mom Boss was even feeling bad about like what had happened. Like there was no, like she said she felt like there was like no remorse from Mom Boss. Like she didn't believe her. And that was on a phone call, so I don't have screenshots for it, but it was on a phone call. Later on, the next day, all of a sudden, all of us were getting messages from Mom Boss. Tay got some, Kelly got some, I got some, and Stella got some. And through that situation, Stella, every time we sent a screenshot to Stella, because we were letting her know like what Mom Boss was saying about us and to her and everything, Stella kept saying, I knew this girl was a rat. She was right under my nose the whole time. She's a bad word, like really, really, really just going off, being nasty. And I have all those screenshots as well in the Discord. I mean, I can't make this up. Like, she was just going off on this girl, like that, acting like they had never been friends before. Like, literally, just completely.
And Mom Boss is a current mod, right?
I don't know if she's a current mod. I have seen her, the screenshots of her in the Discord. I believe she has what they call a newbie role, which is just the most basic level role. So I don't know that she's been upgraded to a mod yet, but I know that she's very much in Stella's community again.
In that community again.
Yes.
Wow. And she has no idea that this girl was talking about her in this way.
Correct.
Wow.
And then she was telling everybody that I was the reason that Mom Boss was removed, that I was the reason Alexis was removed, that I was the reason that Tay was removed, that I got in between her and Mom Boss and then all of the other mods and her followers even, which is entirely untrue. And the Mom Boss situation is a great example.
Oh, wow.
To touch on that real quick, that goes hand in hand with her never caring about the Discord ever. Like, now she cares about it because we all left. So now she's acting like she loves her supporters and stuff. But we would actually have to tell her, like, Stella, engage with your Discord, you know, like and people have noticed that. And there's even people who have left that said we carried that Discord. And we would tell her all the time, they're here for you, not us. Like, yeah, we're cool with all of them, but they're here for you. And it's like, now that we all left, now she wants to act like she's all for her supporters in Discord. When we constantly had to tell her, you know, you're not thanking your gifters and you're not giving them any attention. And the only time she would come in the Discord is when she would want to complain about something and make people coddle her like, oh no, Stella, we love you, we're not going anywhere. Like when she was sad about people leaving, when really I doubt that was the truth. You weren't sad because you were happy to let them go. You had no problem letting them go. You laughed about letting them go and you made Rhea do it.
She laughed about it?
Yeah, she was like, good riddance. Like, you know, like she didn't care. And that's when I the energy shifted and it was like, okay, this is, she's not the sweet girl that I thought she was. She gives off like this sweet personality, but that's not it at all.
At all. So I think that for me wraps up the Mom Boss situation, but I do want to get into these SA allegations. This is real bad because there are a lot of stuff behind the scenes she was saying to just her mods because one, she felt that safety, she felt that security within her group. And this is really gonna shock a lot of y'all. Okay, so I need y'all to keep tapping the screen. Make sure that we do not get taken down. Tap the screen, share the live, spam FYP in the comments, and make sure you follow everyone on the panel as well. Let's go ahead and get into this SA situation that happened. Let's be careful with the words we use just so we don't trigger any bots from TikTok. But this is really bad, y'all. As y'all know, she met up with Red and she was accused of SA by Red. But it was not Red who was saying it. It was people in the comments. There was, accusations from Check because Check was on the live while he was speaking about it. Red never said it specifically, but he did imply he was very unhappy with how she acted that night when they hung out. But that's not the same story she told to her mods. So if y'all want to dig into what she said and how that went down in her words, we can get into that topic now if y'all are ready.
Okay, so when all that went down, it hit the fan hard and I felt like we had to do, what's it called? Like cleanup, what's that called? Damage control. It felt like we were on damage control. Like we had to, you know, she called us all and we were asking her questions like about that night, like what happened. And she kind of like, she honestly, I felt like she never gave us the honest truth, but her story was constantly changing, and she was trying to tell us like, oh, well, I didn't do anything. But like when you see the videos, you see her rubbing on his leg, you see her kissing his neck in the club. Like you could tell he's uncomfortable with it. Like, but she tried to make it seem like he did it to her and accused him of doing stuff to her. Like, oh, well, maybe somebody put something in my drink or something and I just don't remember. And it just like, you know, as a person who's been through it, like I was trying to hear her side and I really genuinely felt bad because I'm like, oh my God, like Stella, if something happened to you, you should go to a clinic, you know, like because that's what she was making it seem like, something might have happened to her. And I was like, you should go to a clinic, you know, get tested, whatnot, because then you'll be able to see if something did happen to you.
Yeah, she went as far to show us, like, she sent us a picture in that chat of her body saying that this was a mark on her body from after the situation happened.
So she tried to claim that there may have been grape involved that night.
Yeah, and I think that was to try to manipulate us into believing that she didn't do anything, that it was really something happened to her maybe. And then we were kind of like, you know, like, Stella, are you sure? Like, you know, and she's like, I just don't remember. I don't remember. But then there was things she was talking about that she just so happened to remember through the night. So it's like, did you remember or did you not remember? Like, which one is it?
So her story was never lining up.
No, yes, exactly. And it's like, but like, and then, okay, so that like her, so he was accusing her and people weren't believing him because of course he's a man and people don't think that, and she says this and I don't know if you have the screenshot, Rosa or Vicky, but she says, how can I sexually, how can I essay a man when I'm a girl? And that is so disgusting to say because SA can happen to men. Like, and it's sad because men don't speak up about it enough because of women like that and people like that who believe that men cannot be SA'd. It does happen to them. Women can do that to men.
Yep.
And she was trying to make it seem like, oh, well, maybe something happened to me. And then I got genuinely worried because I've been, you know, so I was like, go to a clinic. And she was like, no, I can't. Like, and I was like, why not? Like, if you would genuinely feel like something happened to you, then go to a clinic. Like, and she wouldn't do that.
And then what was her reasoning for trying to make it seem as though she may have been raped? Do you think that was maybe just to try to manipulate y'all? Like, believe me, everything that's going on is wrong. Like, he's lying on my name. Like, why would she even do
100%, because the very first message she sent us was, look at this guy. She sends us a video from that night that wasn't posted on TikTok and goes, does he look uncomfortable to you?
Oh, already trying to spin a narrative to y'all.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Make it seem like Red is lying. And now with a lot of stuff, I kind of believe him because how do you go from accusing someone to going back to being obsessed with them and forcing me to post about him when you think he did something to you? Like,
because wouldn't you want to be completely free of that person's presence ever in your life again?
yeah, because I remember she, when she hung out with Lindo that one time, she made the same accusations on Lindo. She said, he made me feel so uncomfortable. He tried to bring me to the back of his trunk or something to show me something. And I felt so uncomfortable. And that's why she never hung out with him again. Cause she made it seem like he was going to do something to her. Yeah. So I don't know if Lindo's aware of that, but yeah, now you know.
Wow. I bet you Lindo was not aware of that because you know what's crazy? I feel like Lindo's been the one to not connect with her anymore. Yeah,
honestly, I feel like that's the first thing she jumps to when it comes to a man is accusing them of being creepy and weird and trying to do something to her. And
because she did the same thing to LCD King.
Yes, and I was about to say that.
Gifter,
and King was such a great supporter. Like, And that was another person she told me I couldn't talk to. And he didn't do nothing to me. Like, he was so nice to me. Like, we had good combos and stuff. So, and he gifted her so much, and she would act like his gifts were nothing.
Yep, he's awesome. He's very professional. He's never tried anything with me. He's never been creepy, weird to me. Like, me and him speak about my content, my my merch and my website, and he's never acted that way. So for you to stand on business and say that that's who he is, you're lying, bro. You're lying. And
it's sucks. I feel like any men that is going to associate with her, be careful, because she will try to throw some weird shit or do some weird crap like that to them. Like, if she disagrees and doesn't want to mess with you anymore, she's going to call you weird and creepy. But when it comes to Red and Fly, no, Red, she will I don't know. That was just so weird. How do you go from accusing him to that, still being obsessed with him and wanting to post about him and troll him and get his attention? It just didn't make sense. That it wasn't adding up.
Yep, absolutely.
So then I felt bad, and I'm like, damn, maybe something did happen, and Red is telling the truth.
No, and my thing is, from the very beginning, it all felt sketchy because the way Red was standing on it, you could hear his voice changing. You could see that he was irritated. He was upset that people were not taking this seriously. It just felt too real. It felt way too real from the very beginning.
Yeah, it honestly felt really bad that we were trying to convince people.
I'm sorry, and any allegations that she said that it was Red, that she literally said right here, guys, I drink tequila. No one put anything in my cups. Confirmation.
Yeah. So she went from saying maybe somebody's in my drink, and then she goes and says that. Like, it was constantly back and forth, switching the story up. And it was like, it was so confusing, and we never got answers from it. So we were just kind of left in the dark about that. And it's like, we were supposed to be like her, mods, and I thought she would have told us everything, but yeah, so nothing. Red did nothing to her. She ended up, I guess, clearing that up. But
not to mention that when we told her, like, hey, if this really did happen to you, because me and Kelly have both gone through this kind of a situation before, and typically most women, when they go through a situation like this, it could take like a day or two, maybe even a week or so for you to gain the courage to go get taken care of. But we warned her. We were like, hey, look, if you really think something was put in your drink, or you really think something happened to you, respectfully, we told her, and politely as we could, you only have a couple days to get that testing done if you're very serious about this. Like, for any sort of rugs or anything that would, be in your system, DNA, whatever, like, you have to go get tested within a certain time period so that you would have something to stand on. And as soon as we started mentioning that to her, she shut down. She stopped the conversation. She was like, guys, I don't want to talk about this anymore. If Owen finds out, he's going to be so upset. Like, he doesn't even know any of this happened to me. God forbid. She was like, my family would be so upset with me. Like, she got really, really, really defensive as soon as we said, like, hey, stand on business. If this is really what happened to you, go start the process of getting looked at.
Yeah, the messages are right there. And then she says, low key, I don't even want to know. I'm scared.
Yeah, and then at the top of this, it literally says, I rug tested myself. Only alcohol came up.
I doubt she even did that, to be honest. Because who has a rug test on hand?
I mean, you can get one from the dollar store.
Well, I mean, for, the flour and for... I'm not sure, like, those tests, that test for everything, those are about like $50 at Walgreens, I think, a little more. I'm not sure.
That's true.
Because I know I've had to go and get that for something one time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it was just back and forth. And then when it started to, like, I guess, die down a little bit, because that's when the T pages came, and we were trying to just, I felt like a distraction tactic to kind of veer off from that. Like, it seemed like when it died down a little bit, that's when she was like pressuring us to post about him. And it was like, and that's when I said, I don't think this is a good idea with the SA allegations still out there, and she's like, I don't care. Okay. And then
you tried to give her the best advice, and she didn't want to listen because, again, she's the CEO.
And that comes back with her telling everyone that we made decisions and choices. No, honey. You made all the decisions and choices. You just threw them on us to do so that you can keep your hands clean. And now it's easy for you to blame us and point the finger at us because you never, had anything on, nothing looked like you made that decision. You know what I'm saying? Because she threw everything on Rhea.
And not to mention, along with the rest of this, so there were different instances where she would bring up the essay stuff. So she first, brought it up with us in DMs, and then she also brought it to light once it started going around on TikTok in the main chat. And so she would try to do this victimization of herself in the main chat as well. But I thought it was really interesting. One thing she said, she was like, I can't be friends with him anymore. You can't be friends with somebody who's making allegations like that because they're a liability. And that was like probably one of the biggest projections that I think she's ever done, because she makes allegations against anyone who crosses her or she doesn't get along with or things end badly with. She's sitting here saying, I can't be friends with Red because he makes allegations against me and he's a liability. But girl, you're over here making allegations about every single person on this panel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's just insane. I feel like this girl just plasters her own insecurities and wrongs to everyone else. And it's really, really insane. It truly is. So that's where it is with the essay and the grape allegations. Let's go ahead and move on to her name and her age. Her real name and her real age. And as y'all saw, we already showed you guys that proof. We can show it again. But her name is not Stella. Her age is not 23. Okay. And if you want a breakdown of how that actually came to fruition, there's a lot that goes into it, because she made all of these ladies sign NDAs that were faulty, that she in turn also ruined on her own and broke on her own.